What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to our final edition of Dynasty Talk Podcast. We are, 30 minutes in to the final game in the championship week. Everything hinges on this game. Right now, currently, we are looking at 96.96 to 93.92. Joe Buck yourself, Rob Fife, over my ball, Zach Ertz, your dad, Rick Crack, and I'm joined alongside my trusted co-host. It's Fly Society Malcolm.
We're gonna go with Sad Society right now, but what's up, guys?
And I got let the Wookiee win, Chris Crack.
Ready for the off season.
I hear you there. I think we're all ready for the off season as none of us are in the championship game right now. We've got
It's the
a
first time
repeat.
in a long time that none of us have been in the championship.
That is something that I actually never even thought of until this moment. And I appreciate you bringing that up because somehow I'm involved in that conversation. So feels great that I'm somehow part of that equation. Uh, Moving on real quick, back to this game real quick. Rob Fife, Joe Buck yourself, he's been in the league since year one. Same with your dad, my ball, Zach Ertz. They are both OGs. They are one of an elite crew. I think, six of us? Seven of us that have been in the league for the entire time. And this is Rob Fife's first ever championship. This is your dad's second ever championship. He won in year one. So just throwing that information out there to anybody that did not know.
Yeah. Oh man. Just so you all know, part of the reason we want to do this tonight is because we wanted to give live updates, and the Buffalo's defense just scored. So
No way.
so
When
that
I just
that
said that
closes the
6
gap.
seconds ago.
No, they didn't score. I don't think they scored.
Oh no, they didn't score. They just recovered the fumble.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can't
He's
advance
down.
it on a kickoff. Ah, damn, he is down. Damn.
He's down.
See,
who's down?
it was down. It's not a fumble. See, this is why
No.
we wanted to give you guys this type of exciting content.
Oh man. Everybody listening live right now.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit that like button and follow us on Spotify.
Subscribe.
Please, both of you.
Just to give a quick update of what we're looking at real quick. My ball, Zach Ertz, has Josh Allen. Joe Buck yourself has Joe Burrow. So both the quarterbacks playing against each other right now. My ball, Zach Ertz, also has the Buffalo defense, which currently has 4 points. And then Joe Buck yourself has Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, and that is it. So 3 players against 2 players. Not looking amazing for my ball, Zach Ertz. He is down about 3 right now.
Yeah, it came in tonight with a 2-point lead, but I can't imagine he felt great about it.
Yeah, the Joe Burrow touchdown in the first quarter definitely hurt him.
Yeah, but you know Joe Burrow's going to get at least a touchdown. You just got to hope Josh Allen does something spectacular, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, and the defense has to shut down the Bengals, which doesn't look like they're going to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, your dad hasn't made the playoffs since year one, if I remember correctly, right?
He
I think
may
that's right.
he may have made it one other year, but I don't think he has.
I just think that's astounding that he's been to the championship both times he's made the playoffs in six seasons, which is interesting to say itself.
Yeah.
And this time he's 8-6. He just barely made it in, and he's in the championship again, and he's got a chance to win a title. So I think he's feeling pretty satisfied with his season, regardless of what takes place tonight.
Yeah, it just is probably a little bit disheartening with what he probably has the highest score last 2 weeks in the league, and just not able to do it another week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of us know what losing in the championship's like. It's just not great once you get there.
Yeah,
To
no.
get so close.
Although he didn't know, but he's about to.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
He's joining in another elite conversation of or elite group, I should say, of people that have lost in the championship in our league now too. He's joining a new elite crew. What, 5 people? So
Yeah.
the only other person that would know that, I believe, is Max, right? Or
Yeah.
that's Nate. Nate lost in the championship.
No, they got there too, right? Yeah.
Nate lost year one as well.
So there's 6 of us. Your dad would make 6 now if he was to lose tonight.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, Fife makes it 6. So.
Correct. Yeah, we have our 6th person of somebody that's lost in the championship in 6 seasons too. That's kind of impressive, actually.
It sounds about right.
That doesn't sound right because I've lost in the championship twice. That's not possible. Are we in year 7?
Great.
This is year
I've
7.
lost,
This
yeah,
is year
I've
7. Okay, so
lost
yeah,
once.
6 out of 7. I'm the only one that's lost twice in the championship. Then.
Yeah, I've lost once. Malcolm's lost once. Nate's lost once. Max has lost once.
Yep. So just me. So I'm in the elite crew, and one of you guys lose your next championship, you can join my crew. Um, moving on, let's just do a quick run through of how we got to where we are here in the playoffs, real quick. Just a real quick run through. I don't think we really need to talk about a whole lot of this too much. It doesn't really make any sense to really do that. But just jumping right into the first wild card week, which I'm having trouble getting to right off the bat. Un
So
momento.
in first week we had Ricky's new league, new Rick played Baby Huey, which is Eric, and both of them actually had a really good week, and that was a close one. Ricky ended up pulling out by 4. Hell, they both well outscored their projections by a lot.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was Ricky's first playoff win too, I think. And was that Eric's first time in the playoffs?
No, wasn't he in it last
Eric was
year?
the playoff last
No, he did make
last
it last year.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. He did. Last year was his first year. I still don't know if he's got a win in the playoffs though.
No, I don't think he has a win in the playoffs. I believe he lost last year.
But yeah, I know he made it. Both those teams made a lot of moves, and it sucks for Ricky giving up everything for Damian Pierce and then him being on IR here in the
Yeah.
playoffs when he needed it and not being able. I mean, then hell, he only lost by 2 to Fife last week, and another one that, yeah, maybe Damian Pierce will be the difference. So he's got to feel good about where he's going to be next year, though, because he's probably going to be in the same, roughly around the same spot again.
I hope so. I hope he hope he feels good about his team going forward.
Well, I mean, and if my dad's team has kind of showed anything, he's had a lot of injuries and some just bad breaks the last couple of years, and he's stuck with the people he's had and just been waiting on that quarterback, and now that he has it, he's back again. So I think Ricky's team is going to be one of those types of teams that they're just going to have to do something to add one more piece to kind of see if he can get over the hump again.
I don't think he really has to do a whole lot.
No, not really.
Really,
He doesn't even have like the possibility to really change a lot as far as assets.
I mean,
Or like draft capital.
he could move assets that he has for a better asset, you know. But
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly feel like after this season, he probably needs to move a player like DeAndre Hopkins and get a little younger to a team that's trying to win now, just to make sure he secures some future with the team he already has. And I think that's a minimal risk to affect his team going forward. You know what I mean?
well, that and there's a handful of teams that have a lot of draft picks that, like me for example, there's like 4 or 5 draft picks I have. I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to use them. So there's a good chance he could find a way to get some draft picks.
Yeah, I think some of you guys are going to be trying to win a little earlier than you thought. As soon as next season starts, which is kind of fun. I
Yeah,
like seeing that there's not a lot of tankers going forward. I think a lot of you think you're ready to win now next year.
yeah. I don't think next year I'm ready to win, but I'm definitely ready to not hope I lose every game.
And I mean, Rick's most important part, I think, of next year actually is just knowing that he has Justin Fields at quarterback and just being very comfortable in that.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to start your team.
No, not at all. He's just too old. I mean, there's certain players on his team that are just too old. He doesn't have a lot of depth either. I mean, he's not gonna have a choice but to probably trade Dak Prescott no matter what. I think that's got to be the first move he makes is trade Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott will have value. And he could probably get himself a decent draft pick or a decent player from him. But yeah, I mean, he needs to get younger. He's got Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen. I mean, George Kittle's no spring chicken. He doesn't have a lot of depth, like I said before. Cordarrelle Patterson, Kareem Hunt. His only young player really is David Pierce.
Are you? Is this
And
my?
Justin,
Is this my
Justin
team?
Fields.
You're saying? Oh no, it's my. It's half. It's half as my team last year. That's right.
Well, both those players that you mentioned that were from your team were on my team, and I traded it to him for his draft picks that got me.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't even I don't even remember what it got me, to be honest with you.
So I drafted like half of Ricky's team. It makes sense why he got good.
Yeah. Oh man, that Damon Pierce trade is going to be an infamous trade though for history. I feel like,
Yeah.
regardless of how good Damon Pierce gets.
Yeah, I mean,
All it takes is one championship, and it's worth it.
yep.
Yeah,
So and he
true.
was one game away from making it
I
happen.
mean,
So
he's 2 points away.
yeah, so
True. What was the next game, Chris?
Oh, so then the other game was in the quarterfinals was Tom and then my dad, which my dad beat Tom by 59 points. So
Yeah, that was a slaughter.
moving
Tom's
on.
players just didn't show up. They just
Yeah,
didn't show up.
and everyone on my dad's team did. And then
Yeah.
the following week, the semis was another. Well, we already kind of talked about Ricky. Heartbreaking loss by 2 points to Fife, and then Malcolm got dominated by my dad, lost by 20.
Savante
Yeah,
Adams
Malcolm.
has issued a public apology for his abysmal performance in the semis.
What happened there, Malcolm? Quarterback issues or?
No, no, no. I mean, I didn't have Lamar, but Brock Purdy's been straight actually like, keeping him moving forward. But no, I mean you're done. So I don't know if you guys remember, but in earlier podcasts, I was like, you're gonna have to put up 140 or 150 to beat me, and you guys thought I was crazy and bragging, and
Yeah,
your dad did it, and he beat me. Like my team did not score. It's not like I put up 90 points. I put up
yeah,
whatever 130
135.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
135.
it was less than it should have been, but your dad just scored a lot. I can't. That's why I wasn't that upset about it. It's your team just scores, has a good day. Can't really do anything about it.
Yep.
I will say though, if I would have made the championship, I'd be winning the championship because my team this week went back to normal. It was frustrating.
So sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't feel bad for you at all, but I mean,
Nope.
I do like hearing your struggles being relayed out loud.
yeah.
Um, team's still nasty, by the way. Just looking at your team real quickly. Yeah, a lot of things worked out well for you last year. Just Jamal Williams being Jamal Williams was nice to have him all year long, and I know you offered him to me in trades privately. What about 5, 6 times? Not even making jokes. Uh,
Yeah, no, you had no interest.
yeah, I had no interest in getting Jamal Williams whatsoever, and I mean, it felt like every week that was trying to make me regret that. But
Oh, I
moving on.
think there's a Bills player who just died.
Yeah.
Keep you guys updated.
Yeah, no, I every time I look over here, I'm like, man, whatever's going on the field right now is not good.
It's been like 15 minutes of
Yeah.
non-football play.
So the guy's still down.
Yeah. Like ambulance is on the field.
Who
A
is
lot
it?
of people with
Every
tears.
everybody's praying or crying.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It says he's
nobody
been
knows.
down. It says he's
Fantasy
been down
points.
for over 9 minutes.
Sorry to
Uh,
derail the conversation.
Yeah, but yeah,
looks
With
like looks like it's Hamlin, whoever Hamlin is.
yeah.
Damar Hamlin.
anyways, to get us back on track, I
Yeah.
will say we were talking offline. There's two players I'm kind of not going to trade, and everyone else is available. We're going to try to get better this offseason.
How are you going to get better? Are you going to trade some of these assets and get young talent, or are you going to trade for players that are on other teams already? I mean, you just got
I
better,
don't.
what, 7 weeks ago by getting Devontae Adams?
Yeah, we're going to try to do some more getting better. No, I don't know exactly. I've got some targets. I try to target people that I want to get and try to see how I can make it happen, but there's no concrete plans right now.
Do you guys think that trades are going to just blow up in the next couple of weeks after the season's over, or you think it's going to be really quiet for a little while?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably going to be same kind of way it was last year. It'll be quiet for a while, and then once the draft happens, things are gonna start to heat up again. Because once you know where people are, you're gonna have a lot better idea of what you really want. At least for me, that's the way I'm looking at it. With the amount of draft picks I have, I'm kind of gonna wait and see where everyone lands in the draft and free agency before I start pulling the trigger on people. Because there's so many people that are free agents this year. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, plus traditionally, it usually takes the first trade,
Yeah,
and then that's what happened at least last year. The
yeah,
first trade happened, and then they were just like move after move after move. So
yeah.
I would imagine there's going to be a down period for a month or two, or even longer. And then once like that first trade happens, then it's on.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been looking at trades, so I imagine that I'm maybe one of the ones that breaks it, breaks that initial barrier of people making trades, if that is the case. I know that I'm definitely looking to making a lot of trades just as far as certain people that I liked all year long, but I know I don't want to have in my future plans going forward. And I think that's kind of a weird situation to be in, but I know that I'm in that situation. I think there might be some borderline playoff teams who are in the same situation. And I would assume you tankers probably feel even stronger about that feeling. So I don't know.
I don't appreciate the way you're saying the word tanker.
it's my easiest way to group the four of you together, and I'm not even including Bill into that category. So
Yeah, no, because Bill wasn't a tanker. He might need to
no,
think about it, but
I don't even think Julius was a tanker. He's still trying to win every single week. Besides the last 2 weeks of him missing setting his lineup, and he still beat me. So I don't even know. Okay.
hey, I set my lineup every week with the intention of winning. I
You and
I
Nate
just
you and
knew
Nate were
I
pretty good at
couldn't.
that. Actually, Nate messed up 1 week. I think I noticed, but Max was pretty good at it too. I was pretty pretty happy with what I saw from you guys. You guys really didn't do anything cheesy at all. You were all pretty firm, fast in the fact that nobody was going to believe that you were entirely tanking. You were just not trying to necessarily win or do very well.
Listen, man, if everyone's paid up, and you're trying to tank or whatever to make sure to make you more competitive in the future, I have no problem with it.
I just think they set the precedent of how you tank going forward. How do you tank with dignity? Because
Yeah, because
I know my words in
we
a couple of
very
seasons
easily could
nobody
have.
will go against.
Yeah, we very easily could have set people that were injured on IR, or just flat out not even set up a lineup.
Correct.
But
Yeah,
That I
set
think
a lineup too.
we
Set a lineup.
the majority of the time we set the best lineup we had. But the problem with our rosters was there's at least 3 to 4 people I'm starting every week. That might not do anything. So it's like there's a couple of those. It's like they're all dice rolls. So sometimes it might look like a terrible idea, but it turns out not to be.
well, you guys made it fun too because a lot of you guys took it really close and a lot of you guys won some games.
Yeah.
So I mean, it made for more exciting fantasy football as well. So I was happy with what I saw. I thought for sure there was going to be some sort of gray area that you guys would dwindle into at some point, and nobody really even dipped their toe in and even sought out what they could get away with. So I was impressed. So all right, well I don't know. I mean, do we have anything else to talk about the playoffs, guys? I mean, we're talking about the championship right now. We know what's going on there. Not a whole lot. There's a player down. So
Yeah.
we'll move on.
Yeah. We move on from the playoffs.
Let's do something we just talked about before this started. We're gonna go ahead and do first teams all rookie and first teams just all NFL.
Oh,
First,
hold on, real
sorry,
quick. Sorry. Uh,
yeah.
Whoever wins, I'm gonna order the plates on Friday, and then whoever once I get it, I'll be trying to get with somebody to get a trophy to them. Uh, and then depending on so it's fun to throw it out there.
So is the plate for Tom too, or is this already on there?
This is already on there. This is there last year. Like, yeah.
I have no idea. I know we've talked about this before, but I can't remember. So I've never seen the trophy. So don't talk to me about the trophy. I'm just curious. Oh, so that should be a pretty easy trip for you to deliver in Orlando as well. Nicely done for
Yes,
Malcolm.
that's for me.
Yeah,
That's for me. Yeah.
that's the good thing. I think we're all fairly close, other than Tom. But
Yeah, I mean, the rest of us are all at least 2 hours away though. Max, Nate, myself.
yeah, that's not that far.
Yeah, I can see you guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move into that first team, all rookie team, and then I'm just gonna go around and ask the three of you, or the two of you, and then myself, just who you pick for each one. We're not going to do any quarterbacks. We've already decided that we're not going to give a participation trophy to a quarterback that started more games than the others. So let's just jump right in and do 2 running backs and 3 wide receivers and a tight end. And we can just start with tight end real quick. I think we are all in agreement because that's the only reason why I chose to start with tight end first. I think we are all in agreement that Greg Dulcich is our first team all rookie tight end.
Yeah, it
Gregory is
wasn't a great
awesome.
year for tight end, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I
Chris,
mean,
best out of tight end options.
yeah, I can't really argue him just because he didn't play a whole lot, but when he did, he was pretty consistently used. So I mean, I was happy with the fourth round draft pick.
yeah, nice fourth round draft pick for sure. I mean, I know he was talked about on fantasy shows, specifically Fantasy Footballers was talking about Greg Dulcich pretty early, and they were right about both the tight ends they talked about. That one
Yeah,
as well as Daniel Bellinger as well. But Greg Dulcich, 10 games he played in, had 33 catches, 411 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had 55 targets for the tight end position. The only tight end that had more targets than him was Cade Otton for the Bucks. He had 41 catches as well, but played 15 games instead of 10.
yeah.
So,
Kate Otten probably hasn't got more than one target until like 5 weeks ago.
yeah. All right, so let's jump right into running back. This one, the first one, at least running back, we're doing two, but the first one was relatively easy. I'm going to just go ahead and start with you, Chris.
Oh yeah, it's Ken Walker. I
Ken
Easily.
Walker,
yeah,
Malcolm?
he looks the freaking part, man. He's good. Hopefully he stays healthy. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
he looks
his
good.
stats are only 14 games, too, because it says, I mean, statistically, they'll tell you 14 games, but he got hurt in the first quarter, I believe,
Yeah.
from his injury. So, yeah, 13 games really is all he played. But Malcolm?
Yeah, what specifically on Ken Walker, or you want a second one?
Unless you're giving me Ken, I'm just making sure you're giving me Ken Walker as number one. There's not somebody
Oh
else.
yeah, unanimous. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, Ken Walker for me as well. 936 yards rushing, like we said, 13 and a half games played, 4.7 yards per carry, 9 rushing touchdowns, 155 yards off 26 catches, 0 receiving touchdowns, but he averaged 6 yards a catch as well. He was pretty legit and didn't even start most of the year. So,
Mhm.
all right. Well, number two running back spot for first team all rookie. I'll start with you this time, Malcolm.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Damian Pierce. I know he got hurt at the end, but you can definitely see why Ricky wanted him so bad. I still think that was a little bit of overpay. That's a different subject. But until he got hurt, like he was kind of a beast. So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to ignore what David Pierce was able to do. But I think he's got some competition from what I'm looking at. Chris, go ahead and do yours real quick, though.
I mean, if it were me, I think I agree. Damian Pierce is probably the two if we're doing 1-2. But the one that I think probably still needs to be mentioned is Brian Robinson, just because the dude got shot and has still been a beast. Like he's still been
Yes,
awesome, man.
I haven't heard that he's gotten shot every time he's on the field.
Yeah, I still love
Yeah,
like that's the most badass entrance back from an injury in quotes I've ever seen. Him coming out to 50 Cent, I'm just like, yeah, dude, that's awesome.
I agree with you too. I think that's definitely the most badass return from any injury I think in the history of the
Yeah.
NFL. Yeah, Brian Robinson, just to point out real quick, at least 797 yards rushing, 3.9 yards per carry, which is not great. However, I think he had the worst offensive line of all these main rookies. So,
Yeah.
Washington offensive line was awful. They got rid of Brandon Scherf. They didn't re-sign somebody else. I'm forgetting their name. That offensive line was trash every time I watched Washington play. Um, just to be different than you guys, from each picking Damon Pierce, I'm going to pick Tyler Algier because I think it's close enough that it deserves recognition. 900 yards rushing. He averaged 4.8 yards per carry instead of Damon Pierce's 4.3. He had 3 rushing touchdowns to Damon Pierce's four rushing touchdowns, but he averaged 8.7 yards per catch over Damon Pierce averaging 5.5 yards per catch. And I thought that was interesting. So I'm just going to pick Tyler Algier to be different.
I will say, which I don't disagree with you, but if Brees Hall just didn't get hurt, like he'd
Yeah.
easily be on, here.
Yeah,
He was
he's number
done.
two for sure. I honestly think that Brees Hall playing the way he was playing though would still be number two behind Kenneth Walker.
I don't know.
Just like talent or like what he
Yeah, I
produced?
think I think
Just
I
overall for what
think
they were doing
I
week
think
to week. I mean, we got to see pretty much what Brees Hall was going to do in that offense, and I don't imagine it would have gotten any better with all the quarterback issues they had later. So
I mean he
a lot of that was with Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco made him look good.
I
So
mean he had more catches, more
with
receiving
Zach
yards.
Wilson,
I mean I'm talking about Brees Hall in general. He had more receiving yards and more catches than Ken Walker did, and was only got out rushed by like 30 yards. He just didn't have the touchdowns. So like,
yeah, you're right.
Brees Hall still had a great fucking season with missing a
Yeah,
bunch of it. So like, if he had played all year, yeah, we would have a definite conversation.
yeah, I think
Hey,
you're right. Actually,
Lucas, are you watching this game?
Yeah, I don't. I think
no, I'm not. I don't
I
have
don't.
any.
Nobody is because they've called both teams to the locker room. This game's suspended right
Yeah.
now.
So the guy's dead. What happened?
I don't.
No, I mean, I know I
Unless
saw
you're real.
earlier that they said they had to do CPR to him on the field. So it sounds like at some point on the field he wasn't alive.
Wow.
But yeah, and like I mean, just looking at the players and stuff on the sidelines, like they don't know
It's
what to
still
do.
crying.
Like I can only imagine how difficult it would be to come back in a game and play after something like that happened.
Yeah, so they've been administering CPR to him until 9 minutes ago, and no one knows what's going on
Hmm.
since. Wow. Well,
Yeah, pretty
Receivers.
pretty crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hopefully that guy's fine.
pretty messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, wide receivers. Let's just jump right in. I think we did Malcolm first last time. Chris, you're first.
Oh, it's Chris Olave.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So he's your number one.
Yeah, I mean he what most catches, most yards, second in
Uh,
touchdowns,
he he didn't have the most catches, most yards,
second
but only
second
because
most catches.
I'm saying he played in two less games, so I think he would have had he averaged more yards per game and more yards per catch.
Yeah, but I'm just saying even still he had five less catches than Drake London, but still had over 1,000 receiving yards, seven touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty good year.
7 touchdowns. Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm looking at the wrong website. This one says three.
Why are you doing that? I don't really care about the stats. I watched a lot of him.
Yeah.
Being a Bucks fan and the Saints, he's good, man. Like he
I'm
was for
yeah.
me, he was by far the best rookie receiver.
Yeah, a lot of the stats you've been
And
saying, Lucas, seem wrong. But keep going, Malcolm.
This one also
but,
says
well,
three touchdowns.
I'm looking on Sleeper at what their stats are.
It says 9 touchdowns or 7 touchdowns for him.
Hmm. Like you said, 900 yards rushing for Tyler Algier, and they had him at like 595. He was like the 10th highest scoring rookie running back. Like Drake London's the second highest scoring rookie receiver on this list. He had 171 fantasy points this year. And then third is Romeo Doubs with 150. Then fourth, Garrett Wilson with 150. Then Kristen Watson.
You're not looking at projection, are you? You're looking at stats.
Pretty sure 2022 season stats.
I,
Oh,
I'm not looking
son
at
of a
sleeper.
bitch. Son of a
I'm looking
bitch.
at
Yeah, no,
okay.
you got me. Yeah, yeah.
All right. I'm looking at ESPN online. I'm looking at NFL.com. Like I'm
Yeah,
looking at references.
I didn't realize there was a thing to switch from projections to stats. I just figured it was showing
No,
me stats.
I log into Sleeper to
Cause
make sure. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm
I know
sitting
I'm
here, I'm
looking at.
like, dude, like your stats are all wrong. Turns out mine are all wrong.
Okay, let me make. I'm gonna go back to where I was real
Yeah,
quick
we're good.
because I
You're
was.
right. It's only three touchdowns.
You're good. You're good. I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. I'm like, am I missing something? I thought it was me.
regardless, though,
Regardless, yeah,
so for me, it was just
yeah,
he was in a
I
really
agree.
bad spot, quarterback and offensive, just offensive like, overall,
yeah,
and he produced. He was the number one option, and like projecting moving forward, I think you've got a real asset
yeah,
with him. There's someone in like redraft leagues I'll be looking at next year.
yeah,
Yep. For me too. Also, Chris Olave, and for me, it's not even close. I watched enough to know that he was my number one. He's the sexiest player of everybody, and I'm kind of mad because he was the one I wanted the most, and I was an idiot and drafted somebody else before him instead of just listening to my gut and drafting him first. So yeah, Chris Olave number 1, and yeah, it's not even close for me. Malcolm number 2.
I gotta go with Garrett Wilson, who was the person I would have drafted if I stayed at number 4 in the draft before I traded it. But again, player with a terrible quarterback situation, but then still was able to produce. I like him a lot.
Yeah, agreed. The quarterback situation is the worst part about it for sure. Chris,
Am I picking a second? The
yes, number 2. Yep.
uh, and it's pure. I mean, he's had a fairly good year, but like purely just based off talent, as the guy who I think might end up being the best out of all these Pickens.
Yeah, he definitely
I
looked
mean,
like the
Garrett,
best
like
player.
more or less just to get away from saying Garrett Wilson again, but like obviously Garrett Wilson is is the number two, but like yeah, Pickens is probably next on my list of people that I think are. I think he's gonna be the dude, like for a while.
Yep, I'm gonna pick Wilson only because I have to, really. But yeah, I agree with you. Everything you just said, I think George Pickens has probably shown enough to me that I think he's gonna be the second best player from this draft class.
Yeah,
Wide receiver at the wide receiver position, of course. Number 3, Chris.
I just picked.
I know we're switching back and forth.
Oh man, we're rewinding. Okay, man, that here's where it gets tough for me, at least, anyways, because I think Olave, Wilson, and Pickens are kind of the three, and then I can understand the argument for everyone else after that. But you kind of have to go with Christian Watson, I would assume, just because of the 9 touchdowns. Other than that, I could hear an argument for Jahan Dotson just because of what he's done when he's been on the field, and Drake London, they get a quarterback and figure out how to use their weapons in Atlanta because they don't know how to apparently. Like, yeah, maybe those guys are the three, but like, yeah, I don't. I mean the four. Like, I don't really know. Other than those are kind of the top couple. So yeah, Christian Watson would probably be the next one, just because he's the one I think has the best path to that, or has done the most so far. It'd be like, yeah, the upside is big enough to where that's probably where I would go.
So based off of touchdowns, obviously you got to go with Christian Watson.
Yeah,
But if I was just saying who I'd want on my team, I'd put Jahan Dotson there. I
yeah,
think he's way better than I ever thought he was.
yeah,
He's gonna be so good, man.
Yeah, for me too. Honestly, I know you would think that I would just pick Christian Watson here before everybody else, but if I'm picking between the people that I've already picked, with Garrett Wilson being my second, I'm going between Watson, Pickens, and Jahan Dotson. So, and for me, I'm just going to pick Christian Watson because I think he's got the highest upside of those three.
yeah.
But I'm not even sure about that. That's just me guessing. I think all three of those guys have shown me something that makes them probably special. Where any one of those three could be like a household name in a couple of years.
Damn, I mean, so like getting back to this, just looking at the receiving stats, Jahan Dotson and Christian Watson had basically the same year.
Yeah, Dotson didn't have the rushing touchdowns or rushing yards, but yeah,
Yeah,
almost exactly identical year. Only 56-yard difference too
yeah.
receiving. So yeah,
He might have.
uh,
They probably played the same amount of games too.
yeah, it looks like Jahan Dotson played one less game than Christian
Damn.
Watson. I know Christian Watson says 13, but again, he was on my team. He got hurt in like the first freaking
Yeah,
quarter, in like the beginning. Trust me.
yeah.
And I think one of the games he didn't even play. Like he only played like half the game in one of the other games in the beginning of the year too. So yeah, did not really play until like week 6 or week 5. I think it was his first time that he actually saw the field. Well, that's our rookie team. You guys want to jump into the all NFL team?
Sure.
Yes, so
Well, this who went first last time, Chris. So Malcolm, you go first. We'll start with quarterback.
it's tough. You
Yeah.
put me in the bad spot actually. But I'm gonna go with my MVP, which is gonna be Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts,
Yeah,
number one
the little
quarterback.
curveball there. Yeah, when he
Hmm.
played, dude, he was a league winner. Like, especially in like redraft leagues where teams are not deep, he was a league winner, and then he just got hurt at the worst time. But what he was doing, rushing, passing, like I mean,
Not
who
throwing
has him,
picks.
not throwing well, yeah, but who has him? Eric, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
there.
Like, no lie, like that's why Eric made the playoffs. and that's why Eric did advance in the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts had an unbelievably sexy year. Just ridiculous.
Well, that and it's crazy because I mean, my pick would be Mahomes. It's kind of hard to not pick the guy who has 50 more points than the second place guy and 70 more points than Jalen Hurts. I am looking at the
Well,
right.
he
I
played,
am looking at the right stats this time, right?
but he played what
Uh,
two more extra games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You're telling
it's
me
not
Jalen
that
Hurts is
hard.
going to score 35 points in both those games? No.
Look at Jalen Hurts this year, man. Like, look at his game by game. Like, Jalen Hurts was a stud.
No, I agree, but he doesn't average 35 points a game. Is my point.
No, I'm just, hey, man, I gotta make it interesting for
Well,
all
yeah, yeah. That and at the
viewers.
same time, like, if you want to go down that route, you can be like, well, Javonte Williams was a top 10 running back if he would have stayed
Yeah,
healthy. It's like,
let's not get crazy, man. Let's not get crazy here.
but you know what I
yeah,
mean?
no,
Like,
no
you,
one's going that route.
you, you can't, you can't be like, well, those games he didn't play, he would have been good. And it's like, the fact of the matter is he didn't play him. He didn't get you points for them.
I'm just not punishing him for missing the last two games of the
Yeah, but if
season.
I'm picking my first team fantasy quarterback, I would choose the guy with the most points.
Hey, man. All right, well then let's just go down the points and call it a day. Why are we doing this then?
At quarterback, I feel that way.
Well, for
All
me,
right,
it's
fair enough.
Mahomes. I'm not considering Josh Allen there for whatever reason. I just don't. When I look at it, I want either one of those two guys. But I'm gonna go Hurts. I'm with Malcolm on this one. I go Hurts. All right, running back. This time it's you, Chris.
Oh boy. This is a tough one, but yeah, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that crazy? Also on Eric's team. Once again, why he got to the playoffs.
Yeah, both of those. I mean, he drafted Josh Jacobs #1 overall too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, kind of walked into that one. I mean, he was the consensus #1 overall pick that year. He didn't really have to.
He
He really was able to just to have that by being the worst team. So I mean, I don't fault him because he drafted the right guy, and it worked out for every person that drafted the #1 pick that year. But yeah,
but at the
Josh Jacobs.
same time, I don't think he's really lived up to the #1 overall pick the previous 3 years. So holding on to him
Well,
without moving him,
he's
holding on to him and eating that value paid off. So that's part of the process, in my opinion.
He started him at his #1 running back spot, I think, since he's drafted him too.
Yeah.
Like he's never shied away. He's had him every single game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm.
Oh man. If I say Derrick Henry, are you guys gonna laugh at me?
Did
Nope.
you say who?
Derrick Henry?
No.
I will not
I
laugh at you.
can't believe it. I can't believe we're still doing this. I can't understand how he's still this good.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't get it.
Lucas writes him off for dead every year, and he just keeps on coming back.
Yeah,
I write him off for dead, man. I don't understand it.
Well, I'll say Josh Jacobs, obviously, because I'm that high on him too. I think he's the consensus #1.
Yeah.
#2, Malcolm.
Well, sorry, I misunderstood then. Josh Jacobs won, which
And
to
you
just speak on him for a second. Derrick Henry was one too. Sorry, yeah, but
No, you're good. I like it,
well,
Chris.
but yeah,
For me, my two is probably Saquon, just because nobody expected him to play 16, 17 weeks.
Yeah, that is
I just
fair.
I didn't expect it, so the fact that he was able to be really fucking good for like the entire year, like, yeah, man, that's huge. And I just physically watched him on the field. You're like, oh yeah, he looks like who he was his rookie year. I think he's gonna be better next year than he was this year. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you between Saquon and Derrick Henry, and this last one, and just for the sake of being different, I'll pick Austin Eckler, which is the easiest one.
yeah,
881 yards rushing, 13 rushing touchdowns,
and almost
686 yards receiving, 103 catches. That is
yeah.
103 points in PPR league just from catching the ball, and 5 touchdowns. It's just stupid. His numbers are zero.
Wouldn't he be like the number 5 like receiver or like number 2 receiver?
Yeah,
To be as
yeah.
That's disturbing
Crazy.
how many touches he has.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous.
And to be to be honest, it's one of those people who like you don't want him on your team, but the people who have him are like, you guys have no idea, what the fuck's wrong with you? This
Yeah,
guy's amazing.
Oh man.
and he had such a
Well,
terrible start to the year. Like the first 3 4 weeks, he was
oh, it's horrible start to the
trash,
year.
and then all of a sudden
Dude,
it just boom.
I don't know about you guys, but Tom would just throw in like Austin Eckler trades. I'd be like, dude, I don't want Austin Eckler. Like, stop offering me this.
I
And
just
this season,
never.
guess what? If I'm Austin Eckler, I'd be in the championship, man. Like,
Hmm.
this sucks.
Yeah, for real. I wish I would have traded for Austin Eckler instead of Miles Sanders. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, Miles Sanders won me a big week one year. 1 week when he had like 40 points. But
He
yeah,
still ended up being a top 10 back.
Miles Sanders was a disturbing back this year because I mean he played way better than anybody's expectations, but at the same time he lost to you certain weeks just by his production being so bad and his fumbles being bad.
Yeah.
But number one wide receiver is probably gonna be pretty easy for a lot of us, I assume. But I'll start with you, Chris. It's Malcolm's player, I assume, though.
Yeah.
Untouchable.
It has. It
Untouchable.
has to be Justin Jefferson.
So are we consensus all across the board? Justin Jefferson, number one.
Isn't it crazy? Devontae Adams, it seems like he's sorry to get off track. He seems like he's had like an down year for him, but he still has 6 more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and that's my number two. Just so we can skip some time there. Devontae Adams is my number two, and it's not even close.
I mean, just pure ability. Yeah, man, he's a monster.
Do you
So
guys like?
number one and number two wide receivers. Thanks,
But
Matt.
do you guys remember? Do you remember like last year, or like not even last year, last couple years, how bad at receiver I've been?
Yeah,
And it's
terrible.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got these two studs all of a sudden. How'd this happen? Not that I won anything with it, but still.
Yeah.
You traded for both of them too. You traded for both. Like two users traded away untouchable players to you.
Wasn't it the same user? Wasn't it?
Oh God, was it Max both times? Dear
Yeah, Max
God.
had both of them.
Damn, that's frustrating. All right, well, number three. Are you guys both
I mean,
consensus on Tyreek Hill? Or?
I think Tyreek Hill is the number 2, not Devontae Adams, personally, just because he's proven that quarterback's irrelevant, just like Devontae Adams has. And
Yeah, I think that's fair.
for whatever reason, the touchdowns. I mean, I know why the touchdowns weren't there. It's because Tua can't throw the ball 75 yards in the air like Patrick Mahomes can. That's why the touchdowns are down. But they're going to stay down because of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, 117 catches, 165 targets. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it is what it is.
Almost
You're right.
1,700, almost 1,700 yards receiving. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm just going to pick Stephon Diggs to be different, and because I don't really necessarily like Tyreek Hill. But I would probably would pick Tyreek Hill if a gun was pointed to my head. I'll just pick Stephon Diggs for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, in that offense, over 100 catches, 10 touchdowns. Like, how can you not?
Yep.
The only problem with Stephon Diggs is, and it's not even his fault, it's just the Buffalo snow bullshit where, like, they play in these situations where they literally can't pass the ball because there's 3 feet of snow on the fucking field.
Well, that.
So,
And I think Stephon Diggs is as good as he is because Josh Allen is as good as he is. Not. Like, the other 3, I think, are just good regardless of who's throwing the football.
well,
Sure.
Stephon Diggs is really good in Minnesota, too, though.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was,
he
but
wasn't
I
that
think
good. He was
he's risen to a whole nother level in Buffalo.
Yeah, agreed.
That and you all are just sleeping on AJ Brown. People cannot tackle that guy.
Y'all, who's y'all here?
You guys just didn't say his name, so I figured I'd throw
Well,
both. I pulled both of you under the bus.
I would have said Amon-Ra St. Brown before I said AJ Brown.
That's crazy. I love Amon St. Brown. I appreciate what he's done. He kind of had a down season compared to what like
Yeah, I
he had a
know.
really good season. He
Being
just
that
was hurt a little bit, and he
being
had a
that
lull. Like
being
he
that
did.
8th ranked receiver in your second year is really terrible.
Well, what's AJ Brown?
in his
Amon-Ra was hurt
in his
longer than-
3rd year or 4th.
Who? Amon-Ra's in
No,
his
AJ Brown's in his 4th.
AJ Brown's in his 4th. Yeah, Amon-Ra
Yeah.
St. Brown's in his second. Correct.
Yeah.
Amon Ra also hurt longer this year with
Yeah.
100 catches. AJ Brown hurt, I think, one extra. AJ Brown played in one more game than Amon Ra St. Brown in 84 catches.
And
So
difference, and so AJ Brown had no rushing attempts. Amon Ra had 9 for 95.
yeah, that's
Listen,
impressive.
I had him in the league. There was like a 4 week stretch
Yeah, where he didn't
where
do
he was
anything.
just invisible.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's all. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying I had him, and there was like a month where I was just like, this guy's not like he's killing me right now. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna not play him. That's all I'm saying. AJ Brown was pretty consistent this year.
yeah, he was.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
awesome. And he's just so big. It's so fun to watch him with football in his hand because I'm like, nobody wants to tackle him.
Well, tight end's really easy. I thought. Travis Kelsey,
you,
unanimous.
you don't say.
This is even like, yeah. What are we talking about?
Well, we can do this for fun real quick. You guys want to do defense?
Hey, don't. We got to talk about T.J. Hawkinson.
T.J. Hawkinson deserves a little bit of honorable mention. I think
Is he two? Do you think he's two?
I mean,
he's
if you
two.
just go off straight up points, yes.
I mean, it's either him or Kittle. It's not Mark Andrews. So
No, it's definitely not working.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
not Andrews.
defense, I was gonna just out of fun. I really think it probably is the New England Patriots. How crazy is that? Like just real quick. How
Always.
crazy is it the Patriots, despite what their defense looks like on paper every year, it feels like it's always ends up being them in the top three.
Yeah, man, it doesn't make sense, but
It's unbelievable. Like it's like this in fantasy. So it's proven that it's helping Belichick win games through just straight up defensive scheming. Like it's unbelievable. It just doesn't make sense, right?
no. I mean, it makes perfect sense that he's winning football games with defense, but like at the same time, I know what you mean. Like it just doesn't make sense how he's figured out how to just
Consistently
do it
every
better
year.
than everybody all the time.
Right, dude. Like you look at these teams that are in the top five with him this year. The Dallas Cowboys. I can't imagine they've been in the top 10 in the last 2 or 3 seasons. Philadelphia Eagles. They definitely haven't been there. San Francisco's been there every now and then, but not
Yeah.
consistently. Baltimore Ravens. They're consistently top 10, but rarely in the top three, top four. Then Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars. Come on, like they're over here on an
Well,
island
and
about
it,
80 points different than all the other teams that were here last year.
well, then you keep going down that list. You got the Packers, the Jets, the Browns, the Seahawks. None of those teams are
Yep.
teams that have been dominant defenses in the last 3 4 years.
So I had the Denver Broncos. I held on to them since the end of last year, thinking they would be a prominent defense this year. They are down here at the bottom of the list. Miami Dolphins. I actually held on to them last year too for that same reason. They're down here at the bottom of the list. The Titans, historically a pretty good defense. They're down here at the bottom of the list.
The
Los
Lions,
Angeles.
the Lions, the Bucks, the Rams. Like there's tons of or usually good defenses down here.
You think? I mean, the Lions. I would say necessarily, but yeah, the Rams
No, did I
absolutely.
say the Lions? I meant the Steelers. The Steelers, the
Oh,
Bucks,
yeah, the Steelers.
and
Yes,
the Rams. Sorry, the Bucks
you
and the
definitely said
Rams.
the Lions. I was like, what?
I didn't mean the Lions yet. And then New Orleans too. New Orleans always
Yeah,
has
New
a good
Orleans way
defense.
down here.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
had them. I had to drop them.
it's kind of ridiculous. I just think that's something that somebody needs to be looked into. Like he's doing something differently, and if it's cheating, then we need to figure that shit out because it's getting
Well,
ridiculous.
when you take the other team during practice, it makes it a little easier to go.
That's exactly what I was alluding to. It's stupid.
so
He has
now,
so
so now
the
that
Patriots
we're
led the league in interceptions. They led the league in interceptions. Led the league. The Patriots secondary? Like I couldn't even name anybody else besides one or two players in the secondary. Like it's ridiculous.
well, so then that poses the question: why do we even have defenses? Do we need defenses anymore if it's going to be this ridiculous?
I mean, it's not really ridiculous. It's just inconsistent every year, except for the Patriots.
I know. I'm just always pushing for no kickers and defenses. Always will.
Why?
Well,
I mean, that ruins fantasy. I feel like that's an insane, ridiculous idea. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
disagree.
wouldn't be opposed to putting it to a vote. I wouldn't vote for it, but if the league's like we don't want kickers and defenses, I'm not gonna like
Well,
quit over it. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of my issue has been just because I think the way the scoring has been with our defense, where I want to say it's like if your defense gives up more than 17 points, you just are at 0. I'm like, well, the league average is like 20 something points a game. Like you're basically making points against irrelevant. So why
Well,
even
I
have
wouldn't be
points?
opposed to
Why even have
changing the
points
defensive
against?
format.
Yeah, the scoring format, I'm fine with changing that would probably help too. But it's just that's the thing. I'm like, if we're making it where it's only sacks and turnovers irrelevant, like, uh, what's the point? I mean, if you pitch a shutout, you should get points. But if you give up less than in between 30 and 1, like, that's a typical week anymore in the NFL. You know what I mean? You shouldn't get negative points because your team gave up 3 touchdowns. Like, I've always thought that that was silly.
I agree. I mean, I don't know who came up with the initial scoring for defenses, but I've got no problem with adapting defensive
Yeah,
scoring.
that's the way it's
I,
always
I,
been in like standard formats for ESPN, Yahoo, whatever it is. It's always I just have never understood the points against thing. I'm just like it should be higher, just gone altogether with the way teams score anymore. It's like I mean, because realistically, your team gives up 50 points, you get -4, but they also have 4 sacks and 2 turnovers, and you get 3 points for that. Just because you're, I mean, that's a great defensive performance, other than the fact you gave up 50 points. But
I
like,
do kind of
you
I
know what
kind
I
of
mean?
enjoy that idea. I like entertaining that idea of not having points against matter at all, and it just being just straight points for whatever your defense
Turnovers,
gets.
sacks, touchdowns, block, like
Yeah.
big plays on defense, more or less.
Sacks, yeah.
Yeah,
I almost wish it was like point 0.5 for a TFL or like a pass deflection or
yeah,
something too.
stuff.
I would wish we did
Yeah,
more of that.
I would be on board with any types of changes like that. I just don't think,
Well,
or make it where a shutout gets 5 points or whatever, and if you give up more than 38, you get -2 or something like that.
yeah, like bonuses for holding teams to limited scores. I think that's fine. Like
Yeah,
for instance, like you do a shutout, you get an extra 3 points, or you do
well, because
a
like,
game where you work for 3 points, you get an extra 2 points,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, how many
Yeah,
times does a defense give up 10 points to the offense, but then there's 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns, or it's not. I don't like. I hate how defenses are going to, or like my fantasy defense will get penalized because fucking Jarrett Stidham fumbles the ball on the 2 yard line, and all I have to do is run the ball 2 yards for a touchdown, and all of a sudden I get fucking negative points
Yeah.
because the offense is inept. Like, just that kind of shit. I'm just like, it's hard to. I get how the mathematics of it, they can't figure those things out, but yeah, it's just a lot of times that should happen. So I'm like, this is dumb.
yeah, I think that's fair. I got no issue with. I'd probably vote for that too because it just sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever want to change kickers though. I hate the fact that certain leagues have changed kickers, and I just don't like it. I guess I'm too old fashioned to change
Yeah,
kickers.
I mean, I kind of get the kickers because kickers to me is just more of a wild card. Like, you might get 0, you might get 18. You never know.
I don't want to see kickers kicking 30-point games for like bonuses or getting 6 points for a 60-yard field goal or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't stand that just based on opportunities for 50-yard field goals. I kind of do it. I don't like it, but at the same time, I've accepted it. I just kind of want to. I want to
Yeah.
have that for myself as well. I just accept that as part of fantasy football. But
Mm-hmm.
defenses, we never really knew why scoring was chosen the way it was in the first place.
Yeah.
So I've got no reason to change it. So yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys want to talk about that anymore. We can jump right into the last part.
Yeah. We can
Let's
jump in.
go.
Just we were planning on doing this so we could give updates of the game to see how the championship is going, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna be able to do that.
Is this still not back on for real?
No, yeah, game's still paused.
It would be amazing. I mean, it wouldn't be amazing, but it would be pretty cool if your dad was winning at this given point. But that's not the case.
He's down by 4.
I would say that'd be really controversial if if that
It's
was
a
how.
little less.
Yeah, what do we do if this game gets canceled?
Yeah.
We just wait and manually score and decide who the winner is. It's like the easiest thing ever. It's just the championship.
No, but what do you mean? Because next week the games are already scheduled, so they're not going to play
Yeah,
next
this
week.
game will
So what?
not get rescheduled probably. I don't know
We
how
have to
it
wait. We
does.
have to wait for that game and manually do it. I'm saying. Whenever this game gets rescheduled, never however they do it, we pretty much take a screenshot of what we're looking at right now, and then we just manually score it out and we see who wins that way. And if it stays
Yeah,
anything like what it is now, it's gonna be really easy to decide. So
that's crazy. No, I mean that's probably like the best way. It's just a crazy scenario
Well,
that
my
yeah,
thought is
is
like, what
happening.
if just the game never gets played? Because
see
realistically,
that I don't
when
know.
are they gonna play it? realistically, because you can't give the teams who are playing next week the advantage of these guys having to play on Wednesday now. You know what I
I'm
mean?
pretty confident they're going to come back on the field in like the next 30 minutes to an hour.
No, yeah, yeah. More, that's like the realistic scenario. I'm just saying, what
Yeah, you
happens
never
if not?
I
Yeah.
can't believe
That's
it's
senior ESPN reporter Naylors. I've got
Jesus
some word from
Christ.
the field.
Buffalo Bills fan Nate
You
Lors,
gotta be
the
kidding me.
instructor of
I'm
our
told
fantasy
Damar
league.
Hamlin has a pulse but is not breathing on his own, and he's being transported to the University of Cincinnati Hospital. He
Jeez.
needed AED and CPR in the field.
Damn.
Oh man, this is wild.
They said it looked like commotio cordis, which is a sudden blow to the heart, which disrupts rhythm, causing cardiac arrest.
Yeah, because he took like two
Yikes.
or three steps and then just boom, dropped.
And then just
Yeah.
dead, yeah, like died. That's crazy.
I mean,
Wow.
No, thanks for the update, Nate.
yeah,
Appreciate
appreciate it.
that.
Problem. Back to you guys at the desk.
Dude, if he just hung up right now and disappeared, that'd be awesome. That'd be so funny. uh, well, you've
Well, I
missed
don't even
most of our
know.
commentary on the games and the rankings of where we put players. We've said nothing but horrible things about you, but that's what you get for missing.
Of course.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do about this.
No, I don't either, man. Like, because legitimately, like, you got. It just imagine that's like somebody in, one of the four of us playing a game together. One of us dies on the field, and we're like, we got to keep going. Like, fuck that. No.
Yeah, there's no chance.
There's no fucking way I'm going to continue playing.
Yeah, the Bills' morale is just
Yeah, and
down.
it's really not fair.
Yeah.
It's really not fair for them to be asked to go back out there and play. It's not. But they're probably gonna be asked to go back out there and play.
They're gonna have to. Yeah, the NFL's gotta
But,
keep the money machine going.
But I mean, this is something that's fairly unprecedented. I don't know how many times this has happened in the NFL where someone literally just their heart stopped and they're keeping them alive on the field.
Well, supposedly, according to everybody on Twitter, it's never happened.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it has. So yeah, I mean, we are kind of in uncharted territory.
Yeah. I mean, apparently it's still being labeled as temporarily suspended, so I'm imagining it's going to get played, but still.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. That sucks.
24 years old, so young to have something ridiculous like this happen to.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I have a question for you guys. Do you think this is the best season we've had in our league? And if not, like, what do you think is?
No, yeah, I think this is the best season just because it's been by far the most active trade-wise. Like, people have been a lot more into it, but like, and I think this is the first time we've had a very like clear division of like teams are either I'm trying to win right now and going all the fuck in, or hey, I'm not trying to win at all and I'm getting out. So it just seems like people are way more invested because we're making a lot bigger decisions. So yes, I agree. I think this is the best season so far, which is funny to say because I finished dead last and I've won 2 other years. But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm
like,
in
yeah,
second.
man, it's super fun.
I'm in second to last. I definitely think it's the best season so far just because of all the activity. But, I mean, think about how much it's going to compound within the next couple of years
Yeah.
with just this being the start.
Mhm.
I mean, once Chris and I get competitive again,
Yeah.
we're going to all come back and hit right at the top eventually.
Well, and like to me, I think
So-
it either that or like we're kind of gonna shift into like that's how teams are just gonna be. We're gonna have half the leagues going for gold and the other half's trying to rebuild. I mean, we're kind of getting
Yeah.
deep enough into this to where it's kind of hard to do. I mean, Lucas and Malcolm have done a pretty good job. I mean, in a little bit of time that Tom's been here, he has too, with keeping your team relevant now and for the future through trades. So I mean, you have people that are doing it that way, but yeah, we obviously. I've always thought the idea of fucking blowing it up and starting from scratch sounded like fun. So when I knew it was time, I was all in to do that. So, but yeah, everyone seems very ready to go for the next couple of years. It's just a matter of what the hell's going to happen now. Who's going to fuck it up and who's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a few people that are going to probably try to get really young and aren't going to feel great about next year either, and just going to trade away whatever assets they have that aren't the rookies that they just drafted this year, and then tank again next year. I think that's a possibility of one or two teams next year.
Yeah, I feel like I did well enough with my draft picks this past season that as long as my next year doesn't screw up, I can probably be back on that. I'm going hard at a championship the following year. But yeah, if I miss on some of them next year, yeah, I'm gonna have to move some pieces and kick it down the can and try to figure out something else. Yeah, I know we were talking
Yep.
about doing some awards, or
Yeah, superlatives. I'm sorry, guys. I was reading all these comments on people talking about what the NFL is doing right now about delaying the game, and I was pretty intrigued. Uh, so number one, that was a perfect segue. What you guys were just talking about, best tanker. Um, Nate, we'll start with you. Who's the best tanker this year?
Apparently, crack is the best tanker.
duh. I mean,
Malcolm,
you missed the pre-show where I said that it wasn't even close.
I mean, I think Max made a pretty good case for himself because he had no time to really start tanking, and he just did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I
But the problem
messed
with
up
his tank
and
is he did it and he doesn't have his first round pick. So that's why I look at it as
he's got Jewel. Oh, you're right. Yeah,
I look at it as not a great tanking.
well, he traded his first round pick for. I mean, not his first round pick, but he really made up for it by getting Julius's though.
That's true
Which
because
is pretty much the same
his is
pick.
pretty much the same.
Yeah.
well, I think Chris and I did a better job of tanking than Julius, which is why we got lower picks, and then screwed Max because he was trying to tank with Julius's pick.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah, one of you two probably did a better job at that, but yeah. Malcolm, who's the best tanker? I didn't ask you.
Yeah, they're packing up. They're packing up all the shit on the field. So this game is not
Yeah.
getting played tonight.
Apparently, it's getting postponed.
What's happening?
Yeah, they're
No
packing up
way.
all the shit on the sidelines. The game's not getting played tonight. Is what it
Dude,
looks
is
like.
this guy like legit dead? Like, did he die for real?
I mean,
yeah, I saw some woman come up to Zach Taylor and hand him a phone. He talked on the phone, and then they handed the phone to what's his name? I just drew a blank. Who's our coach? The
McDermott.
Bills coach. Yeah, Sean
Yeah.
McDermott. Gave the phone to McDermott, and then gave the phone back to the woman after McDermott talked on the phone, and they both shook hands and went separate ways. So it sounded like they both agreed to, I don't know, suspend the game or postpone the game.
When the hell are they gonna play this game?
Yeah, that's my thought. I don't know when this game is.
Tomorrow?
Unless it's tomorrow. Yeah.
A couple people have already said tomorrow would be the only time they could play the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Crazy that we have to decide this Super Bowl.
So I don't want this to happen. What if this guy dies overnight? There's no way this game's getting played tomorrow.
No, I agree. There's no way
You
it's
know what I
getting
mean?
played
Like, if this
tomorrow.
guy's not cleared, or if this guy's not, if this guy's not in stable condition by, like, I don't know, the morning, I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Pretty
Yeah.
unprecedented.
And then we're gonna have to decide how we decide this championship.
So I'm just gonna award myself the championship, since this game's not being played, and I have the trophy. So congratulations to me.
We know where your house is,
Wow.
Malcolm. We can get that trophy.
I wish.
We're pushing 10 o'clock. So let's finish these superlatives up real quick. Surprise team next year. Who's the surprise team next year? We'll start with you, Malcolm.
Ooh, that's tough. Okay, so surprise team for next year. I'm gonna take a little risk because I was very disappointed with this person's team this year. I'm gonna go with Bill. I still like players on this team. And And if he drafts or trades right, he could maybe not win it all, but he could be a nice little team next year. So I'm
Finally,
gonna go with Bill.
finally make a playoff trip.
Yeah, because honestly, like I didn't see Fight being in the championship, and I didn't see your dad being in the championship this time last year, beginning of the season this year. So
At the
why
beginning of the
not?
season, I think I might have guessed Fife, but I would not have guessed my dad's team made it. No.
Mm. All right,
What do you guys
Chris.
think? Yeah, what do you guys think?
Hmm. It's.
Chris.
I mean, I'm trying to think though. I mean, I guess it
No
depends.
worries.
Like, so my. I'll put it. I'll put it this way. I'll look at it a slightly different way. If I think my team could potentially be the most surprising because I think I'm gonna win a considerable amount more than 3 games next year. I probably won't win 8, but I'm not gonna only win 3.
That's fair.
Because other
Nate.
than that, I think everybody is what they are.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say my own team. I'm not gonna say Crack's team. I will say Eric's team though. I think they're just gonna get better. And with his drafting,
Yeah,
hopefully he can.
You think he's finally gonna get some playoff wins and maybe make a deep push?
That's what I'm
Well,
guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said his drafting. He does have his first round pick next year, does not have his second, and doesn't have his fourth next year. And of course, he's not drafting in a high spot again.
I know. I know where
wow.
his second and fourth round pick are.
So, you said you weren't going to say your teammate. I'll go ahead and say your team though, and here's why. You have your own pick, which is of course the second pick in the draft. You have Tom's pick, which is going to be a middle of the road pick because he
Mm.
lost in the first round of the playoffs, and you also have Ricky's pick, which is going to be number 9. It looks like. So I think you've got a lot of first round picks next year. You've also got Malcolm's second round pick and your own second round pick. You didn't have a lot of picks last year. You have a lot of picks this year. And you have Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. And I think this is the year you finally trade one of them and get a big player. And I
Well,
think
it's
it's
not
going to
going
be.
to be Patrick Mahomes. So just say he's going to trade Deshaun Watson.
You've been saying for years he's gonna trade Deshaun Watson, and he hasn't.
Yeah, and it hasn't helped him at all. But this is the year it will actually help him.
Yeah, but
Because Deshaun Watson.
what if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt? He needs to hold on to Deshaun Watson.
And what's Deshaun Watson like worth right now?
Not a whole lot. Not as much as
You
you would
know,
hope.
Not
Not
worth
as
a
much
lot.
as you would like to get for him.
Exactly.
True. Which is why you should trade Patrick Mahomes and get the world for him.
Luke is trying to run everyone else's team.
I know, right? He's trying to be a silent influencer here. You should trade him and get everything.
He for the last like 3 weeks. Yeah, once the season's over, you and I need to make a big blockbuster trade. I'm like, I don't want to though.
I mean, I tried to get Mahomes off of Nate too, and he wanted nothing to do with it.
I tried my homes before he even happened. I tried so hard.
Last superlative was sexiest team going forward.
I'll say Ricky's team. I just think that next year's the year, man. It's got to be.
I like it.
I think he's got a legit year out of pretty much everyone else. He's got everyone. Maybe Cordero doesn't have another year, but everyone else does.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp will come back strong. I feel like. I think he's
Yep.
going to come back
Yeah.
and be as good as he was before.
I think Damian Pierce is going to be better next year. I mean, Alvin Kamara is probably going to be better because they're going to get better quarterback play.
Alvin Kamara will not be better next year because
Oh,
probably
true,
gets suspended.
true. He might not even play next year.
Aaron Jones will probably be better next year, though.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I don't know about DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he could get any better than this year.
He didn't even play that much.
DeAndre Hopkins for the last 8 weeks prior to last week, I think he was the number 1 wide receiver
Oh,
in all of football.
he was awesome when he played, but still, he had to try to figure out how to win 7 games without him. That's a lot. That's a lot of games.
It was hard, but
Awesome when he played with Kyler too.
Yeah, Kyler, I don't know what the hell's going on. That was a pick that seemed great last year. Now I'm like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with him.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with him.
I think they're going to get rid of Cliff.
I do too.
Isn't he like into a big contract? Didn't they just extend him?
Yeah, they're not going to get rid of Kyler. They're going to get rid of Cliff Kingsbury.
No, I'm talking about Cliff Kingsbury just got extended like last year.
Oh, he
No,
did
yeah,
too?
they did, yeah.
God,
Oh my
And the
God.
GM, I think, too.
So I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is going anywhere.
So maybe the GM gets fired.
So Arizona's just gonna
I
suck.
think they double down on next year, and then next year gets a little bit better, and they get a little bit of hope, and it just ends up being not really good. Look how long the Cowboys did this shit for. They're gonna relax. They're gonna be fine.
They don't like each other at all.
Who? Cliff and Kyler?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Game has been officially postponed.
And just think, that's the only reason Sam Darnold didn't make it in the NFL is because of Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury.
Sam Darnold is doing just fine, and I am not dropping Sam Darnold.
Not Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's who I got for him. Josh Rosen is who I meant.
Yeah, Josh Rosen was a bust. Sam Darnold yet to be determined. He looks like he could be the starting quarterback of the Panthers going forward.
Yeah, he made 2 great throws on Sunday. I was sitting one, he threw right into the end zone in front of us. I was sitting there, I looked at my dad, I went, that was a really fucking good throw.
Making me feel like I should drop Desmond Ritter instead of him. Well, that's it for our plans. You guys want to
Hold
talk
on. Sexy team going forward. Yeah, I didn't say mine.
Yeah.
And not that it's going to be any surprise, but I'm just going to say, Joe Buck yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to say my team. I think my roster is the best roster.
Oh,
I'm biased.
That's weird.
But, yeah, I'm biased. I get it, but I think my roster is the best roster. Really don't understand why I didn't win this league this year. I don't get it.
That's bold words for a person picking at 10.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No, I'm picking at like 30. So.
Oh man, you've got.
Get your information right.
Damn, I keep forgetting you keep giving up all the top picks.
Yeah.
So you have 5 in the first 2 rounds as well, right, Nate? Yours are just 3 first and 2 second. Yeah, I got the other way around. For now.
Yella, I'll say your dad. I like Rick, Josh Allen, Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle, Evan Ingram looks like he's going to be viable for the next 5 years or so. I think I think he's going to be a favorite weapon until old age.
And if not, Darren Waller and Cole Kmet are going to be fine too.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot he's got both those tight ends. He's got a pretty nice tight end selection.
He's got a lot of depth.
Terry McLaurin proves that he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver every year. Cam Akers looks way better than he did 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Alan Lazard looks viable. George Pickens looks good going forward. Javonte Williams coming back from injury, and he's got all of his picks. And
that's what, to me, like I was talking to him the other day. I'm like, and the crazy thing is, like, he's done this with losing Javonte Williams in like week 3.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Like that just means his team's literally just going to get better.
Yeah, well, the problem is, though, the injury that Javonte Williams had, he lost him onto this year. He's probably not going to be that great next year either.
No, not for
or at least
it's one of those. So
it's like a year.
But I think next year he'll probably start to be good right around now when he needs him to be.
Maybe.
If he's going to be good next year. It'll be the back half of the year, not the front half. But that's a long way away from that. I'm just excited to have Bijan Robinson on my roster.
Oh, you're just announcing the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
Have we talked about the rules?
Rules?
We talked about a new possible change to the rules that we might try to put a vote on, but we've not talked about the fumble, if that's what you're talking about.
We'll put the vote out, but let's talk about the fumble thing. There's an extra -1 point for a fumble.
That shouldn't be a vote. We've done it the other way for 6 years. We just need to move it back.
That one's done. We're fixing that one. We're probably not even going to vote on it.
Okay. And then the other one
what's your
is
other
a
one?
new option that Sleeper gave us. And it's called...
I get all my bench spots? Is that the new rule?
Fumble recovery touchdown.
What about it?
Should be 8 points, right?
That's the points that everybody's been missing when somebody picks up a fumble and scores a touchdown on offense.
Oh, that should be in there
Oh
every time.
yes, yeah. That
Yeah,
should
it should
yeah
be 6.
yeah
We
because
don't need
that's
to vote on that one
yeah
either.
because
That one should get, like,
Traylon Burks got screwed on that once, and there's somebody else too. But yeah, no, that 100% should be changed. There should be no voting on that. If you score a touchdown, you get a touchdown.
correct.
Okay, and now what's the one we're voting on?
All right.
This is just Chris's bold idea. It's not like one that we've actually like
So
totally
so
discussed.
basically, what I was
Brainstorm.
we'll do it briefly because everyone else has already heard it, but you. Um, I think that the points against makes it kind of irrelevant because you get negative points after you get more than 3 touchdowns scored on you. So I'm like, what's the point of even having them when everyone averages that much? So I was like, why not just make it where it's just interceptions, fumbles, touchdowns, sacks. If we want to add TFLs or whatever, and like get a bonus for if you pitch a shutout or some shit like that, and just remove the fact that like in the NFL everyone scores 30-something points all the time. So why fucking even make it irrelevant if you're going to get negative points for points against every time anyways. That was the thing we were talking about going up to vote. Just removing points against from not necessarily removing it, but altering our scoring so that we can.
Negative points after 21.
I can't remember. Hold on, let me look at. We can look at and see what it actually is. But like,
You have to remember this is going to affect like historical scoring as well. So if this is the first year on Sleeper, and we're not getting any scoring from past years, then I think that'll be fine if we change it. But
yeah, it would just be for going forward.
Right.
I don't even know how
Yeah.
to find scores in here, but yeah, we would have to actually like write it out. Like this is what we're gonna change, kind of thing.
So like when I'm looking at it right now, it's -1 for anything 28 to 34, and 35 and up it's -4.
Yeah, see, to me, the -4 is the killer. The -1 for 28 and up, that seems fair. But then
You don't think
-4.
if the defense gets 35 points scored on them, they should
No,
be
what's
penalized?
what's the average amount of points offense scores in the NFL right now?
Oh, that's a good question, but it's not 35.
No, but I bet you it's close. Let's
Probably like
see.
24.
Maybe like 24, yeah.
Okay, so
You want to
this
scale
is
it
this
back?
is
We could do that.
is better than last. This is actually better because remember I looked at it last year. There was like 3 teams in the NFL that averaged less than 20 points a game. I think it was.
It's 21 points per game, 21.5 somewhere in that range.
Yeah, so like that's what I mean. So if ours is you're getting 0 at 21, like what's the point of even having it there if everyone's pretty much starting at 0? You're only potentially getting negative. It's never going to help you. It's almost always going to hurt you. But once
Well,
again,
how about we just take away the -4 and change it to -1?
yeah, you could. I mean,
Well, that's
what we're
the
talking
easiest
about.
way.
We just kind of want to.
Like,
I'm
anything
just throwing it
28
out
and
there.
above
At the end of
is
the
just
at the
-1.
end of the day, everybody has the exact same rules, so everyone's affected the same way. So it really doesn't
Exactly.
matter. I was just saying for potential we can make higher scores or whatever, however you want to look at it. To me, I just always have been bugged by points against in defenses and dynasties. I'm just like, or I mean in any one, because originally my pitch was defense and kicker is gone, but I knew that wasn't going to work. But
Is
yeah,
all of free agency turned off now?
we gotta wait for the damn games to get over so we can start doing stuff. I was trying to drop.
No, I mean, like,
I was trying to drop people yesterday, and it's like, no, they played. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I don't need them anymore.
Find out
Yeah,
what's
I
happening with
understand
this
that.
game and how it's going to end, because it's
We
literally
can't
going
pick
to
any
come
more
down
players
to
up
this
though,
game.
right?
Yeah, it will come down to this game.
We can't pick any more players up though, right?
No, not right now.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, that's what I was concerned about. All right, well,
I'll turn it off just in case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every game has started, so there's no way you can pick anybody up right now.
I just want to make sure everything's turned off. Yeah, just in case whatever happens tonight doesn't affect it in any sort of way.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna wrap up the podcast real quick.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Any other words of wisdom from the sideline reporter Nate Lors?
No, I'm good. I've been watching a lot of Jack Ryan. It's a great show to watch.
Yeah, I never got into that show. I watched the first couple episodes of the first season, but couldn't really get into it. Although it wasn't terrible. But shameless plug for whatever TV show that is. I think whatever streaming service is that Hulu,
It's Amazon.
Amazon. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Our Thursday night football partner.
Well, the Dynasty of Champions is sponsored by Amazon and Spotify. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. My name's Lucas Potent. That's Nate Trumpelo Bills. That's Let the Wookiee Win, Chris, and that's Fly Society or Sad Society, as you said earlier, Malcolm. This has been Dynasty of Champions podcast.
And we are not actually sponsored by those people.